Happy Camper Radio starts in 3, 2, 1. It is getting closer and closer to Christmas Day, and I wonder if everybody has their Christmas list already prepared. Some people already have their Christmas lists complete, meaning they've been out shopping or they've shopped online and got it all done. Me, on the other hand, well, guess what? I only have 2 people to buy for, so it's not going to take me much to do anything. Hello, Daniel. Welcome back.
Hi.
And guess who we have visiting us in the studio this week? He is the author of the book,
Where's the Next Shelter?
Where is the Next Shelter? We're, of course, talking about our good friend, Gary Sizer. He is here in the studio with us today. Gary, hello, how are you?
Greetings, hello. Happy to see you and Daniel.
It's kind of a surprise that you're here, but then again, you have actually been living in the sound booth for the past 2 days, haven't you?
I have. I've got about 10 square feet of luxurious living space here. That's all mine.
Okay. In other words, as I posted on Facebook today, you are now taking up shelter in the sound booth.
Yeah, so Daniel's house is the next shelter. There we go.
This thing's just slightly bigger than a phone booth, and every time I step into it, I feel like I'm turning into Superman.
Well, I'll be careful because I got my back turned to you, and I'm afraid when that door opens up, which you may come out as.
There you go.
Anyway, Gary, you are here this week recording the audio version of Where's the Next Shelter?
I am, and it's so much fun. It doesn't feel like work.
Well, it can be considered work. Depends on what end of the operation you're on. Today, we've completed, 10 chapters total?
We are up to chapter number 10.
Chapter number 10. And we've got how many more chapters to go?
We've got 15 more over the next 3 days.
Okay. And once we get all those audio files put together and put on a thumb drive or however we're going to transport it to you, then you'll from there take it and get the editing done and do all you need to do to get it published.
Yeah, I'll cut out the mistakes, which will reduce the length of the file to about half of its current size.
Well, considering how many words are in that book, Gary, my heavens, yes. I mean, you seem like, well, of course, you wrote the book, too. Mm-hmm. For me, I would have stumbled probably 10 times as many times as you did in getting that book recorded. But, hey, it's great having you in the studio, and thank you so very much for considering Happy Camper Radio and our professional recording facility here to do your book.
Always a pleasure.
So,
it's good to know we're on the same wavelength in terms of things we enjoy to do.
Yeah.
Skip, I don't know what you're talking about. We're outside next to a fire. You can't hear the fire anymore, but we record every week in front of a fire. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the fire's out there, and mine is already sitting on the patio waiting for me to light it. And that might not be a very bad idea tonight because I've got my reclining chair out there, and I'm on vacation this week, too.
There you go.
So, it's nice to be able to climb into bed at a decent hour.
Yep.
I haven't been able to do that. But a couple more years of this, and I'll be ready to bed down every night, probably around 8 o'clock. But anyway, it's good to have you along here with us. Our phone number here at Happy Camper Radio is 404-537-2267. That's 404-537-CAMP. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to Circles on Google+, and now subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel. So many ways you can connect up. Go to our homepage, www.happycamperradio.com. Take the studio tour. Take a look around. See everything that we have to offer you there. And by all means, check out the new Stitcher player right there on the homepage. I am heading over to the shout-out window right now. And we have here today, for the first time, we want to welcome David Morgan, who likes us on Facebook, DemcoTowBars.com. And Gary, who else do we have?
We've got Johnson Family RV from Woodlawn, Virginia, following us on Twitter.
And Chappie of ChappieCat.com. And Daniel.
Yes.
Daniel, I can't get your name out. Oh, I can't get your name out today for some reason. But anyway, guess who else added us to Circles this past week on Google+.
Who?
Our friends, Tim and Robin Chilson of the Meadville KOA Campground. Been around for quite a long time. Thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us. Glad to have you on board. And, of course, thank you for being a part of this great Happy Camper Radio family. Would you like to be on the program? Would love to have you. Get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, and we're going to go ahead and make that happen. On today's show, for those of you who have not prepared your Christmas list for the camper in your life, we're going to help you do just that, because there are so many good ideas that you can come up with and do your shopping if you have availability and accessibility to some of the big box camping stores. And if you don't, you can always do your shopping online. And a lot of folks, I understand, have been doing that this year.
Yes, too many.
Yeah. And that's okay, because that keeps the mailman busy.
It does.
And speaking of which, Daniel, I'm not too crazy about your profession, but I've got to admit, I did have an audio cable that I ordered about a month ago.
Okay.
All right. It was supposed to be a 2-day delivery. It never arrived.
Did you want that? Oh.
Yeah, I wanted it very, very badly.
Well, I'm going to say
it got
thank
to the
you.
Point, because it really got to the point where I'm saying, all right, now either they didn't ship it or it got lost somewhere.
Yep.
It was one of your competitors, which I'm not going to name.
Oh.
All right. And anyway, the guy was super. He was really nice. I bought it on eBay.
Yeah.
All right, and the guy was super nice about it. He went ahead and says, "Okay, I'm going to go ahead and refund your money."
Oh,
He said,
wow.
and that is super. That is really, really nice.
Yeah.
And of course, this cable didn't cost a lot of money, but it's the principle of the matter.
There you go.
So he went ahead and done that, and I had totally forgotten about it. Well, last Saturday, it shows up.
Ba-da-ba.
It shows up exactly 1 month from the day I ordered it. Heavens only knows where it has been.
It was in the back of my truck. I'm sorry about that,
No, it
Skip.
wasn't in the back of your truck, because the guys that delivered it, all right, weren't even in a vehicle marked with the company logo on it, and they weren't in uniform either.
Oh,
So
yeah, I
it was
saw
one of those,
them.
It was one of
I
those
saw them.
contract deliverers, I imagine.
Yeah, I saw them
but
the other day.
anyway, yeah, sometimes things do have a tendency to get lost. But it wasn't the U.S. Mail Service this time.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. But anyway, I know there's a lot of folks that are ordering online and keeping guys like Daniel, who is a mail carrier, very busy this time of year. And I have constantly encouraged people to do their shopping online because it's so much easier. I'm not going to go down that road again, because I can get on my bandwagon, Daniel, and I can, and Gary too.
We could do a whole show on that, right?
Oh, yes. But it makes it so much more convenient for me for what little shopping I have to do. Gary, how about yourself? Do you do in-store shopping or online?
I do most of my shopping online.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, but I live in a place where it's not very convenient to me.
And
get to stores.
that's a thing too. A lot of our listeners live in those type of areas where the big box stores are not accessible like they are here.
Yeah, I have to drive all the way
Right.
to the other side of town.
A
to
15-minute
find
ride
something
down
like
the
that,
road, and there's one of them here, one of the brand new ones. They're in town that I could just go. In fact, I was there yesterday, and I just had to get out for the morning. Just get some fresh air and maybe get some breakfast. And I went to our local Denny's up the road and ate there for the very first time. And it was pretty good. But I went down to one of the big box stores that I have shopped at in the past. And I just went wandering through there, and I didn't buy anything, but I'm a window shopper. I'm not like some of the ladies, who've got to have a wad of cash when they walk into places like that. But I can very comfortably window shop and just feel right at home. And I was looking at some different gift ideas that I might want to include for a couple people on my list. But again, like I said, most of the stuff I will get online. If I end up going back there, I will buy for them, but most likely I'm going to be buying for myself too. But there's a lot of great Christmas gifts out there, folks, that you can buy. Your individuals that are in your life who are campers, people that you have very, very close and dear to your heart. Have you ever been in a position around Christmas time and saying, "Oh my heavens, they've got everything. What am I going to get them now?" Have you ever stopped to think for a moment, like yourself, they are a camper? Mm-hmm. There are going to be tons of neat camping ideas, and I'm not only talking about gifts under the tree. I'm talking about stocking stuffers. Let's not forget about those too. Do you still have stockings attached to your mantle every year with your name on them?
Yeah, we just put those up the other day. We've got some for the kiddies too.
I have not a clue, Daniel, what's going to be stuck in your stocking this year.
Lots of coal.
Oh, there,
It's
you
what
bet,
keeps
you better
the house
believe
running.
That. You better
It's what
believe
keeps
that.
the house running, you know?
Yeah. But anyway, if you're a camper and you're looking for some neat gift ideas, you might want to consider some of those flyers that you show up in your mailbox, like the one that showed up in mine today. Just take a moment to browse through some of them and look at some of the neat things that you can stuff into a loved one's stocking on Christmas Day. Now, it doesn't take much in the line of wrapping paper and bows and all kind of things like that. Of course, it's always nice to go ahead and wrap something up and put it in the stocking. Right here on the homepage of the individual flyer I'm looking at, they have a wide assortment of watches. Watches, I think,
Camping
guys.
watches?
Camping watches, yes.
What makes a watch a camping watch?
Because it's something you would proudly wear outdoors.
Oh, okay.
Does it have like the moon? I remember when I was a kid and we were out in the woods and I found this watch and it had like a sun and a moon. And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I was like, oh, look. The moon's coming out.
Hey, one of these watches I'm looking at right now, all right, it has your typical format, your numbers on there and the fast hand, the slow hand, or whatever you want to call it, unlike some of these digital ones, where they got to flash the numbers at you.
Yeah.
I still like the old-fashioned watches, but one of the ones I'm looking at right here has a moose on it.
Oh.
Okay, so yes,
Wow.
that's what's going to make it a camping watch. And if somebody in your house needs a watch, consider that as a possible stocking stuffer gift. All right, and there's a lot of other great things there too. You can even find, especially if you have some young campers and they enjoy going camping with you. If they're, say, maybe like in 8, 9, 10 years old, yeah, there's still plenty of toys out there that they want to have. And you could actually go into some of these stores or some of the online stores and find some neat toys that are not camping related, but you can buy them from that company. So, think of some of those great things that you can stuff in the stocking this year. Guys, what have you ever gotten for Christmas camping related? Anything at all?
That's all I ever get is camping related Christmas presents, Skip.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really get that much. I mean, we get candy in our stockings and stuff. And
Candy is camping related.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
that's what keeps the dentist in business,
There you go.
guys. Okay, you can get candy, and yeah, most likely you're going to eat it. That's okay too. But I still like the gifts. I still like the toys. I like things that I can, accumulate there for a while and put some of them to use maybe a little bit later down the road when I go camping.
I think I got a Gerber, like a Gerber tool one time. Those are really nice to have because it's the everything tool they call it.
You prefer Gerber over Leatherman?
Whatever. That was just
same.
that just came to my head. But
Same thing, different
Skip, when I deliver a lot of my mail, there's a couple places. I don't know if it's too late or not, but there's these two apps that you can get on your phone, and they have websites, but it's a lot of stuff, and it includes camping stuff. But the apps are called Geek and Wish, and a lot of the stuff is like really nice stuff, but it's off-brand there, but it's really cheap, and it comes from China. So it takes it takes a few weeks to get here, but it's really, really cheap and it's affordable for stocking stuffers and stuff. They have a lot of assortment of watches and a lot of technology, and a lot of them have clothes and stuff that are really nice. But as long as you order early enough, you can make them think you spent a fortune and you spend hardly anything because they have really good prices on those websites. So that's what a lot of people have been doing.
I really think for people to use those apps and go shopping now, they're really pushing it to the wire. In hopes of getting those items delivered to their doorstep before Christmas, because you definitely want to have it there ahead of time, and you definitely want to have it at a time when the kids aren't looking and they're going to be shaking boxes. Oh, wonder what mom and dad got me here. No, you want to get that ahead of time and get those things put away and wrapped at a time when those kids aren't around.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, another gift that I thought about here. And you can actually give these as gifts under the tree, or you can use them as stocking stuffers. Guys, you've seen these flashlights, these new flashlights that are out that seem to have a lifelong battery life to them. You know what I'm talking about, those little ones, the little handheld ones? They come
The LED ones?
Yeah, the LED lights.
Yeah, I know.
And, I'm looking at one right now here in this catalog, and this one has the little handheld one has 100 lumens, and then they've got a bigger one with 250 lumens. And I'm really fascinated by the fact that these flashlights do last an awful long time, and I am really fascinated by the type of light that they project while you're out in the woods.
Speaking of lights and lumens, another suggestion that I always like to make is the headlamp.
Yeah, Skip, didn't you just get one of those not too long ago?
I did.
And you love that
the last
thing.
camping trip, they came in real handy. And in fact, I'll tell you what, I was so impressed with it when I bought it. And I think I paid like about $12, $13 for that. It attaches to the bill of your ball cap.
That's one kind, yep.
Yeah, and you've got it, and it's got a button up on top. Yep. You just go ahead and press that button, and there's your lights. When I saw that, I said to myself, you know something, I better go out and buy a spare set of batteries and keep them in the glove box of my truck. Because where I go camping, my truck is going to be close by, and if this battery ever dies, I know where the hardware store is. It's right in my glove box. Okay, and I'll have a new set of batteries. But, Gary, you were out on the Appalachian Trail, and
yes, sir.
I know you had a headlamp, and it's probably one that's a little bit different than the one I'm talking about now, correct?
Yes. Rather than clipping to the bill of a hat or something like that, these usually come with a built-in elastic band that goes around your forehead. Petzl is a good company. That's the one that I usually use. Can I say brand names? I guess I just did. Yeah, I like my Petzl. I think it's like 50 or 75 lumens, which is plenty enough for one person. It's got a little setting where you can have it shoot red light, so you can still see without blinding your fellow campers.
Oh, that's
a nice
cool.
little touch.
Yeah. That would come in real handy, especially if it's going to be in the hands of a child, because, when a kid goes camping with his parents and that kid gets a hold of a flashlight, what do they do? It's a toy.
It's a toy.
It's a toy to them, all right? And they're the ones, if there's batteries in there to be run down, the kids are going to be the one to do it. And I think these would be great stocking stuffers or gift ideas. You could, get the flashlight, the small handheld one, maybe even a bigger flashlight, depending upon your needs and what you feel your camper's needs are in your family. And then again, if you want to get the kind that attaches to the bill or the hat, or, the headband type that Gary was just talking about, those are great stocking stuffers also.
Can I add two more?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, real quick. Socks. Remember when you were a kid and you hated getting socks for Christmas? Well, now that we're grown-ups and we go camping, Gary, we need socks, especially for the winter.
I remember when I was working at Bass Pro Shop before I started at the post office, I got some electric socks, and they had a little spot where you put the battery in.
It was kind of
weird
to bring that up.
It kind of electrified me. I'm sure they're better now, but that was really weird.
I think I was 14 years old when I first got that, and to this day I question whether or not that actually works.
Were you?
You put the battery in, and I think it might be psychological at that point. All right, I got a battery attached to my socks. Oh, I can feel my feet warming up now.
Were you shocked to learn that such a thing exists?
No.
Shocked.
Oh, jeez. Cue the gun.
Okay, here's
the symbol.
Yeah, the other one I was going to suggest is those hand warmers that you see at the camping.
Now the hand warmers
those are really good.
Yeah, drop a couple of those in the stocking, and now you're ready to go for winter.
Now you're talking about the disposable kind, right?
There's several kinds.
The kind that you tear it open and you smack the pouch and two chemicals.
And some kind of
together.
Chemical reaction starts up.
And they last for how long? Maybe 4 to 8 hours.
I think that's right.
Yeah. Right? Especially if you're living in the colder environments. And they're always good to have handy. Come to think of it, I've got a couple packs of those in my glove box as well.
There you go.
And they come in extremely good use when you're out camping somewhere and your hands are cold. But typically, my hands are in my pockets, my coat pockets, or they're being warmed up by the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. And since you're talking about hand warmers, gloves come in very handy too.
Was that a pun?
Everybody can use gloves. Yeah.
It comes in handy.
But you mentioned a couple minutes ago about socks. I remember the very first pair of electric socks that I got. I was the brunt of jokes from cousins and family members.
Oh, you Skip?
Because there were pictures drawn up of me camping out there in the wilderness. I was sitting on a log. I was by my tent, and there was a tree with an electrical outlet attached to it.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So Skip had his electric socks. Oh yeah, so we may as well have a plug here so you could plug them on in.
Oh, so the origins of glamping, you ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, listen, just for the purpose of conversation, the electric socks we're talking about are the ones that you still can find out there, and they do have D-cell batteries that go in them. Yes,
Yeah,
That's
all right. There
ridiculous.
are no such things as electrical socks that are AC type powered. In other words, there is no plug-in outlet involved. That was just a joke that was thrown around the family for quite some time. I think I may even have those socks somewhere, tossed away somewhere. You know, I'm a
you
pack
should
rat.
take a picture of them and put them on the website.
I keep just about everything I own.
There you
And
go.
It's amazing some of the stuff I've accumulated over the years. But yeah, you know, if you get any of those catalogs in the mail, take some time to browse through them. And if you have a store nearby that you can actually go shopping and get them right there, that's super. And this time of the year would be a great time to go out because now the mad rush is over. Cyber Monday's over, Black Friday's over, the pushing, the shoving, the screaming, the yelling, and all that stuff that we talked about here just a couple weeks ago that you don't have to do and you don't have to get involved in. But some people still get real excited this time of year when those two particular days come around. I imagine, you know, Cyber Monday, you're not going to really run into anybody, just maybe some ugly-looking computer monitors that you're going to be staring in to buy your stuff online, because that's typically what Cyber Monday is all about. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's a lot of deals on different sites and free shipping. It's all about the free shipping.
Don't they? Oh, it's free shipping. What's the tax-free thing they do? That's not.
Oh, that's
the same
before
way, is it?
school.
Yeah,
that's
usually local governments, or should I say state governments, will do tax-free holiday shopping, and they will have maybe one weekend aside where if you go buy clothing, if you go buy school supplies or anything related to back to school, then that's your tax-free holiday. But there are some places, you know, you can go online and it's going to be tax-free. Shipping is going to be free. What you've got to do is you got to take a look at what the laws are in your state, because in our state, for example, you're supposed to pay a use tax, I understand. If you buy something online and you're getting it delivered to your residence and you're not paying sales tax on it, you're supposed to calculate the tax and pay the tax bill at the end of the year. Should I say pay the tax man? It's the same thing.
Sounds like a giant pain in the rear to me.
Oh, my heavens, yes. We all love our taxes, don't we? Yeah, but, you know, you can go ahead and do that. You know, there's still plenty of time to do your shopping and get those packages in Daniel's hand to have him deliver them right to your doorstep.
Yeah.
What are you
sometime-
hoping to find under the tree this year, Skip?
Oh,
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, what's your big present now that we're out of the stockings?
well, I do like money. Okay, but you know, nobody ever throws money my way. It's like somebody has their hand out for money. Yeah. So, have you ever gotten to the age where you say, "Wow, what do I need?" You know,
Yes.
is there anything out there that I don't have that I may want?
I always need something.
Hey, granted, I would love a brand new 2016 four-door F-250. That would be
There
nice.
you go.
That would be
Wow.
a terrific gift. But
you
I
could
don't
haul a
think
lot of
anybody-
firewood with
That's
that
a lot
one.
of wood.
and I could pull my trailer along with it too. But I don't think anybody's going to line up very quickly to go ahead and buy that for me.
Well, not with that attitude. It's
No, well, there's some things in life, you know, if you want it, you just got to go out and buy it yourself. I think I'm long gone from the days when somebody would hand me a car to have about $100 in it and say, go get what you want. But I can remember my grandparents when they bought me stuff for Christmas. I didn't get any camping stuff that I can remember. Of course, I'm going way, way back now. A long time ago. I had one set of grandparents that I always counted on to buy me the toys that I wanted. And then I had the other set of grandparents I know when they brought stuff over and I opened them up, there was socks, underwear, and pants and shirts and things like that. You know, you're not going to get excited about that like you are the gift you're going to get from your other grandparents. But, hey, Christmas was always very special in our family. Always had a lot of relatives over at the house, a lot of good cooking. This time of year, I'm starting to make my plans. I think what I'm going to do, Daniel, like I did in previous years, I'm going to take a little stroll over to Georgia Stone Mountain Park and go over to the resort, and I'm going to have dinner with my daughters there.
You know what? We went there the other day with Gary, and they have they have that
they've got the lights.
Yeah, they have that crossroads thing going on.
Yeah, that
was kind of neat. That was kind of cool.
A huge winter wonderland.
That was really cool. That was kind of neat.
As it costs a little bit to get in there, but you do get access to a lot of things.
Yeah,
and that's also very important. But when I'm going over there, I'm talking about going Christmas night, and that's for the buffet. And
at the Marriott,
you can eat buffet. Yes, at the resort.
Yeah,
great food over there. And if you're somebody like myself who you really get tired, even though Betty made a great turkey on Thanksgiving.
We're still talking about that turkey.
Yes, it was great.
It was good.
It was legendary.
Okay? But I still like having to going out on Christmas and being able to get some of that non-traditional food. I'm talking about all-you-can-eat peel and eat shrimp. I'm talking about the prime rib. I'm talking garlic mashed potatoes. I could eat that by the caseloads.
There you go.
My waistline shows, too. But, hey, they've got a lot of good food over there, great food display. And that's in addition to the Christmas gifts that you may or may not get under the tree, depending upon your behavior. But there's still plenty of time to do your shopping, and we gave you a few different ideas, for you to consider. You can actually do your shopping online, which is very, very simple. More and more people are doing it these days. Or if you want to go to the brick and mortar stores, some of the big box camping stores, they've got a lot of good sales going on. And even if you do buy online, watch for the free shipping. There's a lot of companies today that have free shipping all the way through Christmas. It's a great time to do your Christmas shopping if you haven't already done it. Don't be a guy that waits till the very last minute, the very last store closes before you decide to go out there and do your Christmas shopping. Don't be one of those people. Try to get your shopping in early and do it as quickly as you possibly can. Make the people's lives, your lives, a whole lot happier this holiday season. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this week we are going to venture out to the state of Nebraska, and we are going to visit the Bessie Recreation Complex. The Bessie Recreation Complex and Campground is located in central Nebraska, adjacent to Middle Loop River, offering visitors wonderful opportunities to enjoy the scenery, relax, and recreate. The neat thing about this place, it is open year-round. Not very many campgrounds you will find this time of the year, especially anywhere other than the South, will be open year-round, but this is one individual place that you can go ahead and find a great camping opportunity. Wildlife in the area abounds. Prairie chickens, sharp-tailed grouse, mule deer, white-tailed deer, pronghorn antelope. You don't see too many of those down here in this part of town, Daniel.
I've never seen them.
I certainly wouldn't mind going to Nebraska if just to see that, because I am a wildlife lover. I enjoy being around wildlife. I don't care what time of the year it is. Waterfront activities are popular and plentiful at this facility. Adjacent to the campground, Middle Loop River is shallow and steadily flowing, providing good conditions for tubing and canoeing. I don't know about this time of the year if anybody's doing any tubing and canoeing in the middle of December, but it's something you may want to consider in the warmer months. Also remember, folks, don'tmovefirewood.org. Purchase all your firewood locally. Great place to go camping any time of the year. It's the Bessie Recreation Complex in Nebraska, and it is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. And, of course, if you have a campground that you would like for us to feature on the program, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. Make sure you include a link to the campground website. Gary, it's a great pleasure to have you in the studio.
Well, thank you, Skip.
A couple more
fun to be
days.
here.
A couple more days. Your voice is going to be toast, and you're going to be ready to give that a rest. Yeah, okay. But, hey, I'm really looking forward to that audiobook coming up, because when it does, I will know it was recorded in Skip's recording booth.
Oh,
right
that makes
here
it so much better.
in the Happy Camper Radio studio. Well, folks, that's about all the time I have. It's about all the time Daniel has, and it's about all the time Gary has, too, because he's got to get a good night's sleep. And tomorrow, it's back inside the booth. But anyway, hey, start working on your Christmas list. Do that shopping. Get it done early. Remember, folks, every pet deserves a loving home. Do like I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. You can catch us online anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to circles on Google+, and now subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Daniel's a happy camper. Gary's a happy camper, too.
Was Daniel a rescue pet?
Check his collar. I don't know. And we're going to make a happy camper out of you. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. Catch you next week. This is Happy Camper Radio.